You see, the problem with being a teenager is none of these managers look anything like you. At all. So let's just go with the bald one. Heck yeah! Newcastle United have new ownership in Saudi Arabian billionaires. This prompts the question of how promising can Newcastle United's future be with now billions and billions of dollars being able to be splashed around. However, in this series, we will ask the questions about what would happen when the financial status of Newcastle is turned on its head. Not what would happen when Newcastle has billions and billions of dollars, but instead, what happens to Newcastle when they don't have any money to spend at all? The storyline here goes as such. Newcastle United have, through a string of financial issues, problems, bad decisions, and bad deals, have found themselves with very little money to spend and use appropriately. They just have no money at all, to be fair. And what's going to happen here is they're going to go down the drain. They have no money to spend on anything, and therefore it is fact that they will be going down the drain as a club. They are a sinking ship. And in response to that, all the Newcastle players have jumped that drowning ship and have left Newcastle United. And in its place has come a bunch of players who are not the best when it comes to their ability. They're really old players. They're going to have their last hurrah at Newcastle United to be remembered as heroic players for stepping up to being insanely courageous, to accept contracts and to just play for the sake of playing for a club that is dying. We're going to be taking Newcastle United and we're going to be bringing them from the very bottom of the barrel all the way up to the Champions League final, and hopefully winning that trophy with them after starting at such a low point. As for the rules of this series, first rule, we are not allowed to buy players from other clubs, no matter who those clubs are, for the first 2 seasons. We have a 2-season transfer ban, essentially, for the first 2 seasons of this series. Free agents are still allowed. We are still allowed to sign free agents, but we are not allowed to go into any negotiations with a club over one of their players. However, this changes in the 3rd season. We can buy from the Irish, Scottish, or all 4 English leagues. We're allowed to have talks with managers and players from those leagues. If they play for a team in those leagues, we are allowed to sign them once the 3rd season hits and onwards. In the 5th season, that means when we're in the 5th season, we can buy from all the previous leagues, as well as the French leagues, the German leagues, the Italian leagues, the Spanish leagues, and the MLS. And in the 7th season, transfers from all over Europe and the MLS are allowed. And then in the 10th season, there are no transfer restrictions at all. As for the Youth Academy, which is essentially the second part to the rules, for the first 2 seasons, we are only allowed to sign and promote players into the Youth Academy who are from the following nations: Ireland, Northern Ireland, Scotland, and England. As for the 3rd season, we are allowed to get players from the United States and the 5 big league countries, so France, Germany, Italy, and Spain, for the 3rd season. And for the 5th season, there are no restrictions on what countries we are allowed to send scouts to. It's free roam from the 5th season and onward. However, we cannot sell players who are 16 or 17, although at times if the player is atrocious, it might be tempting to. And unless they are from the British or Irish Isles, they are not allowed to be promoted until they turn 18. But if before they're 18, they kind of demand a contract, We are allowed to promote them, however, we are not allowed to actually use and play them until they turn 18, and these age restrictions on the Youth Academy players, this whole 18-year-old rule, they all go away in the 6th season. Now finally on the agenda, let's meet the players. First up, our number 1 between the sticks, Mark Tyler, 59 overall. Next up from Trinidad and Tobago, Tony Warner, 53 overall. Kevin Pilkington, 46 overall. 46, his best stat is composure at 56, and it's his only orange stat. What do you have composure for? What? You have confidence in what? Like, oh, that's probably the worst stat to have your best be. Oh, my goodness. Moving on to the right backs, Ben Perkis, 60 overall. Nicky Hunt, 55 overall. Aaron Hughes, 63 overall. Rhoda Kippe, 65 overall, and the captain of this squad. Festus Bays from Hong Kong, 61 overall. Alan Bennett of Ireland, 59 overall. Jamie Mickham, 53 overall. Matt Taylor, 58 overall. Zhu Ting, 49 overall. Michael Rose, 62 overall. Matthias Mostrom, 60 overall. Adam Chambers, 62 overall. Danny Bullerman, 61 overall. Michael Tonge, 60 overall. Michael Flynn, 58 overall. Jamal Campbell-Rice, 62 overall. Kevin Ellison, 58 overall. Mark Richards, 62 overall. Aaron Wilbraham, 62 overall. And finally, Jabo Abire, 59 overall. And if we just hop over to the status, as you might be able to see, many of these players are going to be retiring at the end of this season. It looks like way more than half of this squad will be gone come next year. As for this introduction to how this series is going to work, this will about wrap up that introduction. I hope you enjoyed. Other than that, hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for watching. See ya.